Hi everyone, this is Sean. Welcome back to my channel. Please help me out with the algorithm and press the thumbs up button. Subscribe, share, and comment. I would really appreciate it, you guys. Please. Hey, I just got the phone with a subscriber. He's new on this channel. He's a former Marine and he's located in Northern California. I told him all about Assembly Bill 1244 and he is pissed. He's angry about the situation and he is going to forward this petition to his other contact. He's also going to sign the petition himself. He's not too happy about it. Hey guys, when a bunch of Marines find out about 1244 and they realize that the government is telling them that their experience doesn't count as an enlisted member of the U.S. Marine Corps, you get a lot of upset Marines. Not only Marines, all members of the military this affects. This is one of the most anti-military bills that I've seen drafted in a long time. It's also anti-law enforcement because law enforcement experience will not count towards licensure for your qualified manager certificate. To run a security company in California, you need a qualified manager certificate. You're going to need to have, if this bill passes, 2 years experience, which isn't a big deal, but 1 year experience as a manager or administrator for either a military organization or a licensed private patrol operator or company. Unless you're in the good old boy club, getting that certificate, getting that person to sign off on your manager experience is going to be difficult to do. Basically, the top security companies in California, actually in the world, in my opinion, it just seems like they want to create an exclusive market just for themselves. I'm also conducting an investigation into this matter, and I will be holding those accountable that push this bill as forward as it got. Okay, so please do me a favor and sign the petition for Assembly Bill 1244. I'll leave a link in the description box below, and then in the comment section, I'll pin the comment or I'll leave it somewhere in the comment. Forward that petition to as many people as you can. Please, if you haven't already, sign it yourself. A bunch of people have been asking me questions on YouTube that revolved around, hey, Sean, I have a question about running a security company, or a question about getting a guard card, or a question about chemical agent permits. Just about every single time I will answer with, did you sign the petition? If not, well, I might not give you an answer. Now, if you tell me, hey, Sean, look, I'm not going to sign your stupid petition, or something to that effect, right? Then I will respect you a lot more, and I'll even give you a brief answer. Just do something instead of just sitting there. Okay, guys, thank you for your support. I want to talk about a case that made it to the San Bernardino, California Superior Court. The case is called Stewart versus Stratus Security Services, also known as A&A Protection Services. If I gaze down on my notes, please forgive me. There's a lot of important information that I don't want to miss. I kind of made this video on the fly, so please bear with me. If you're chiming in from another state, I still want you to watch this video to its entirety. What happens in California courts might have an effect in your state as well. And there's a lot of lessons that can be learned. So let's talk about the facts first. So there was an account off of Arrow Highway in the city of Fontana, California, aka Fontucky. You have to be from the Inland Empire to understand the humor in that. Nothing bad about those of you who live in Fontana, but that's kind of like the nickname. It's Fontucky. Fontanans kind of do their own thing sometimes. That's why we refer to Fontana as Fontucky. Anyhow, there was an account, it was an apartment complex where this security company is serviced. And there was one night when the armed security officer ran into a group of 10 gang members, and also ran into the plaintiff, who was 17 years age at the time. The armed security officer told the group of 10, by the way, they were Crips gang members. He told them basically, hey, there's a loud party disturbance or loud noise disturbance. You guys are drinking. You can't be doing that over here. As soon as the security officer left, the plaintiff was shot a total of 9 times by one of the gang members in this group of 10. Plaintiff needed 2 amputated legs and is in need of ongoing medical treatment. Plaintiff sought about 55 or 56 or 57 million dollars, and this is what this case is about, guys. The question of the day is, was Strata Security Services, were they negligent? Let's talk about that. Also, we need to talk about commingling of funds. A lot of you are trying to form your security company under a corporation. Strata Security Services, in my opinion, made a huge error in judgment here. What they were alleged to do, and it looked like the jury believed them, is they commingled the funds. What that means is if you have a corporate checking account, you can't use that money to go to the store and buy Reese's Pieces or buy flowers for your girlfriend or boyfriend or significant other. When you have a constant habit of doing that, you are said to be commingling the funds, and any plaintiff that brings suit against you can pierce through the corporate veil. The corporate veil is basically that level of protection that's afforded to corporations who honor the formalities of a corporation. When you start doing stuff like that, like commingling funds, you're going to lose that blanket of protection, and that's what happened here. Guys and gals, Strata Security Services, they were not able to use the blanket of, or the veil of having a corporation. They were sued individually. And at the end of the day, the judge didn't feel, they were found guilty. And I'll tell you what the percentages were in a minute. The judge believed that $57 million was not, it wasn't reasonable. He found that 27 or 26 million was more reasonable. Guys, $27 million, and the owners of Strata Security were individually liable. That means their personal house can get taken away, their personal assets, their cars, all that stuff. Personally liable for this event. The jury found that the shooter was 49% liable for this situation. The jury also found that the security company was 49% liable, and the plaintiff himself, the 17-year-old, was only 2% liable. How is it that the shooter had the same amount of liability allocation to him, 49%, as the security company? And why is the security company even liable? They're not the one that pulled the trigger. Well, let's talk about the argument of the plaintiff. The plaintiff argued that the security officer didn't break up the party of 10 gang members. He's by himself, and he didn't break up the party of gang members. Also, the security company, the officer, should have told the 17-year-old to go inside of his house because it's too dangerous because there's 10 gang members. The security officer did not identify the 10 dangerous Crip gang members, by the way, who were allegedly visiting. Okay, all this plays into place with this jury award, guys. And hopefully you're taking notes of this, you're having a briefing with your staff, and you're forming a different strategy when it comes to dealing with these types of situations. Also, the security officer did not call 911 to report that there was gang members partying and drinking. In addition, the security officer did not observe and report and actually left the area. So, security company allegations is that, they're alleging, wait a minute, we're just an observation security company. We have no duty to observe and report. Well, the plaintiff said, well, you know what, you didn't even do that. You didn't even observe and report because your security officer left the area. Okay, talk about leaving the area so that you feel a little bit safer as a security officer. Okay. And last but not least, the security officer did not tell the 17-year-old plaintiff that he's in violation of the apartment rules, and that those rules state that nobody in the apartment complex can be in the stairwells after 10 o'clock p.m. Had he told the plaintiff that, he wouldn't have got shot. This is crazy, guys. And then during the jury trial, the plaintiff offered the defendant to settle the case for $2 million, and the defendant said no. $2 million. That number is specific, and it's what are the words I'm looking for? It's significant because this number is included with private security liability insurance numbers. The $2 million number is a significant number. It wasn't $3 million before, it was $2 million. So the security for the attorney for the plaintiff in this case did their research. They found out how much a security company limits of liability has to be, and they found that number lying around in the statutes. Okay, geez, guys, $27 million. This was a 2013 case, by the way. What could we do differently? Well, first off, don't commingle your funds. Those of you who are part of our 40-hour private property leadership development course, I talk about commingling of funds. I talk about forming your company as a corporation. We don't go too much into commingling of funds, but it's something that's discussed. I'm not trying to brag about our course, but had this person attended our course, had this person taken some of the peer-to-peer tips that we have, maybe this company would have had the corporate VLS protection and they wouldn't have lost $27 million. And by the way, if you get a judgment against you for $27 million, that means that you have to give up your personal assets. And if you end up working, okay, for yourself or for another company, parts of your paycheck has to go towards paying this $27 million. Had you signed up for my $5 million course, my $500 course, maybe you wouldn't have to pay $27 million. I'm just throwing it out there, guys. By the way, it's not a guarantee you'll be alleviated from paying $27 million, but it goes a long way of helping the situation. Those of you who think that you can just observe and report, there's a lot more to it. You have to observe and report correctly. I just have a feeling that if this security officer actually reported the incident to law enforcement, I think that they would actually been kind of off the hook. I know that some of these precautions are silly to discuss, but the jury bought into this. Guys, the 17-year-old showed up to court. He's missing 2 legs, and now, or recently, or by the time with this jury trial began, he volunteered at Loma Linda University teaching amputees how to live their life while missing a limb or a body part. That plays a lot into jury sentiment, okay? He's going to need a lot of surgeries. I think this kid at the time had to go through like 20 surgeries, and in the future, he's going to have to go through more surgery. I think a total of like 50 different surgeries. Jury, when they see that, okay, and then they see a security company that didn't do what they were supposed to be doing, it doesn't work out, guys. Anyhow, that's all I got. Please make sure you guys sign this petition. Make sure that you forward this to the owners of your security company. If you are a line staff officer or supervisor, I want you guys to discuss this case in your briefing room. Play it in briefing. Play it during training events and have a roundtable discussion. How could you have prevented something like this from happening? How can we do better? That's all I got, guys and gals. I'm looking forward to the dialogue.